Squatchin Holler. Please like and subscribe.
And hit that bell.
Whew. That was
Ooh, we
scary.
made it.
I didn't even get a chance to y'all would flip out if y'all saw my actual room. What's around me here? Hey Amanda.
Hey Roger. glad you got it working.
Oh Lord. Oh, look at here. What Peyton give me. Land Between the Lakes. Somebody said that they think of the butter, right?
Oh
Hold
yeah,
on.
land between the lakes reminds them of Land O'Lakes, the butter.
Hey everybody.
Which I honestly, it's funny because I never had put those two together. I'm like, actually, yeah, now that you mention it, yeah, it does kind of
now,
sound the same, doesn't it?
like thank you now that every time. So y'all, it's been a wild week. Been a wild.
It
Actually,
has been a
been a
wild one, that's for
it's
sure.
been a wild week and a half for us. We just couldn't say anything. So we're winging it tonight. Like somebody said in the chat earlier, we do have some things we can talk about. And any questions for us? Shoot, let's maybe let's do that in a little while. Anything y'all want to ask us? But the first thing I want to start with, though, we've had some confusion with folks thinking that we're going to like Spotify and they don't have the apps, they don't listen to those. We're still going to be on YouTube, but we're not going to be on this channel right here. We're going to be on another channel once a week, but we're still going to have this for like lives and where we can go on the drives and all that. Nothing's going to change other than where you're watching us at right now. It's going to be the same thing. And when I send the link, and it's just the Untold Radio Network, and there'll be a lot of that maybe y'all don't know. Some of y'all may watch some of the shows, but yeah, it's not going to. Y'all don't have to do anything. I mean, but the thing is, if you want to hear the show on Spotify or Google, whatever, or you can. Hey Don. Hey everybody. So it's y'all don't worry. It's not going to be. It's the only way we're going to not be here on YouTube is if we get, so the same pyro,
right?
Perfect.
Yeah, pyro, yeah, the same
Pyro,
but different.
Perfect. Same but different. Yeah.
Yep.
Are you hitting it too, or is that just?
Nope, that's you. I popped the
Wow.
comments up on stage for everybody to see.
I had a glitch. So anyway, Heather and I had a good time the other night. Harley was supposed to go, it didn't work out. And let's see here. Go ahead, Amanda. I've got some stuff to show people.
Go ahead and show some stuff. It sounds like I don't know if the chat if they can hear it or not, but my cat is trying to break down the door trying to get in here because I got her shut out. She's like, it's not Thursday, it's Tuesday. Why you got the door shut?
Hey, let the cat in. This is all
right.
Yeah.
Well, everybody.
This is relaxed. We don't have a guest. We're just chilling.
Abby.
Hey y'all. Marianne, I can't keep up with the chat. So y'all
to the internet.
Tell y'all something. The lives will be here on YouTube, but they're going to be also available shows on other platforms. Exactly. So what happened is we'll do the show live on Thursday nights at 7. We'll have different backgrounds. We'll have a green screen. They're going to do artwork for us and all that. Then we'll just do it like this. We'll talk, have fun, and chit chat with the chat, and uh, we'll send it, or we'll let it be on their StreamYard. They'll take it and do what they have to do, and then put it on all the other apps. So, and then they'll
Exactly.
be available. If you hear, Amanda made a good suggestion, because so it's like, let me see. Like sometimes when we're talking, we just do this right here and whatever. What we'll start doing, we're going to try to go, look, Sharon says, hey, Roger and Amanda, hey, Sharon. We're going to maybe read them out loud so it makes sense to people that are not watching live and listen
Yeah,
on the
people
radio.
who are listening
Yeah, so we're going to try to make it
to
good
us
for them
instead of
too.
watching. Especially
Yeah,
when you guys bring up good comments and good questions. That way everybody can listen and hear.
yeah.
So,
And I thought we explained it. We were excited yesterday. I thought we explained it pretty good, but I did. Are they gonna get you better internet? I've got good internet. It's just we've had storms and stuff, and mine I think was an issue because I hadn't updated in a while,
yeah, those
and
Microsoft Windows updates will get you.
it made me it made me update, like, I had, like, 4 minutes, and it said, "It'll be 4 minutes." I'm like, "Oh, crap." I almost cussed y'all. But, I've got fiber optic really good. So, we were having a meeting yesterday, and I was cutting out, and I'm like, "I don't I don't know what's going on." But what it was something to do with that, I guess, so, more reruns? Probably less or no reruns,
Yeah.
actually, unless I can't rerun it unless
Unless
I
we
do a show.
decide to do one, yeah.
Yeah. But, the shows will be available from now on the other
Mhm.
platforms. So, is it Pyro's birthday? I wished him happy birthday, but all my days are run together. Hey, Larry, Scott, everybody,
Hey, there's
Gary.
Flat Rock.
Flat Rock done snuck in here.
Yeah, he did.
Golly, Flat Rock's got some cool stuff going on, y'all. Uh, I've been lucky enough to hear it and listen to it.
Yeah.
Oh no! So it's just my whole screen just went blank. Did I stay here?
Nope. You're still here. You're still talking
Wow,
to us.
yeah, gum. Yesterday. Oh well. The thing with birthdays, if you're on Facebook, River Morris will mess you up because he's on the other side of the planet and he starts wishing everybody happy birthdays early, which is your birthday in Australia. And I'm like, oh, did I miss so and so? Oh, that's tomorrow. Uh, so I'm gonna show a few things. We don't really have a subject, but we got a kind of a plan. But
Mhm.
I loaded some pictures, and some of y'all on Woodwalkers might have seen this, but y'all remember the orb video, and I told you it looked like a human cell. I was watching TV yesterday, and the Mummy movie came on, the 2017 one, and they were going through the intro, and all of a sudden sparks flew, and then these orbs appeared. I don't know how they made them, AI or what, but one of them looked exactly like what I saw, other than the color. And I'm going to show y'all just for giggles, since we're just hanging out. I'll show y'all the picture if I can find it. Okay. This now I took a picture off my TV, so it's not perfect, y'all. So if you can see, it kind of has a middle there. Maybe it don't show up well here, but see the outer rings. That
Mhm.
was what I was saying. The membrane it looked like a membrane, but it was darker because it was hotter, and then the center was hotter, and it's about baseball size. This is as close. I couldn't draw it any better than this right here. Now, I don't know what they used and what they were filming, but I was talking to Greg yesterday, before he got his bad news, and we send prayers out to everybody. Y'all know about his friend. We'll talk about that sometime. But uh, we were chit chatting, and this thing pops up, and I about spit my drink out. Pause it, go back and look at it. So that's what this thing looked like. I mean, it's not far off at all.
Hmm.
And I was hoping our guest tonight was going to be Miss Barbara Shoup, and she she knows about all of these things, and she apologized. She's not feeling too well, and but we're going to reschedule. So, but have any and showing that? Let me get back to chat. Have any of y'all ever seen anything like that?
I haven't myself yet. Now I've seen so many other weird things, but I can't think of like a good true orb off the top of my head that I've ever seen.
And
So
not
yeah, that the UFO, those are the two things that I haven't actually seen in all of my craziness.
well, um, that's the only one that I've seen like that. I've seen a few orbs, and
Mhm.
I'm like close up, and nothing like that.
Yeah.
But I don't know. But I I don't know what that is, what it's supposed to be. It was just a spark that turned into, and they could have created it with CGI or whatever. But
Mhm.
that's odd though that they created it and looked just like what we saw a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
And I don't know. So we went to the LBO the other night. Uh, Heather and I and the dogs, and Trigger didn't do too well.
Oh no.
He he's not. He
He
got car
doesn't
sick.
does he not ride good?
We found that out. No, he got sick like
Oh.
3 times,
Oh
and
no.
yes, and we're pulling over, like, "Oh, no," and Heather's cleaning up the back, and, uh, it's bad. So Katie's what'd she say? The first
Yeah, the
I
first
saw
orbish thing I ever saw that went across my yard had sort of layers. So
yeah,
yeah. I know
it
whenever you were describing it to me, I sent you that picture of of an egg, like a single
right.
cell egg type organism from when I was a vet tech. We used to have to look for stuff under the microscope all the time, and that's what it reminded me of. And it was pretty similar to the picture that you just pulled up from
Mhm.
that movie.
And looking at nature, the frog's eggs, the cells, but basically anything shaped like that is alive.
Mhm.
The things that have cells, whether it's one cell or multiple, it's
Yep.
alive. So that's kind of the
And then
dog.
you start wondering if it's sentient or not, and then that brings you to a whole nother level of things.
Check this out. S- My
My
dad
dad
had one.
had one at an
Go ahead.
arm's length in his living room the size of a beach ball. Wow. Said it looked like blue plasma. Dang, how long ago was that, Pyro? Do
All
you
right,
happen to
that's
remember? Like blue plasma.
well, and to talk about plasma, the one Heather and I saw, wasn't round, but
Mm,
that's what it looked like. It was moving, it was about that long, and about it
okay.
was changing. It was changing though, and it wasn't changing all. It wasn't doing the same thing. Like it was undulating a little bit,
Yeah,
and
I'll just going all the
yeah,
different times and moving around.
really
But
slow.
did it
And
still stay at like
s- s-
a tic tac kind of shape most of the
no, it
time?
was
Or did
no,
it change
it was
to
changed.
round
It
and
was it didn't know it didn't change that much. It just changed
oh,
like it changed like bigger over here, and then in the middle, and then it's just doing this all the way across, and 20 minutes, and it finally faded out. Now this is before we were doing this, just before, and
mhm.
like now, I still don't think I would have run up to it and took a picture of it,
Yeah.
but it was so daggum odd. Um,
Yeah, Pyro just said that it was a year after his mother-in-law passed, so at
oh,
least that's pretty recent. That's kinda crazy.
wow. Well, yeah, that we could get into that. Like a lot of people have different ideas, and I was hoping to learn that tonight. What the different
Yeah,
types and
when you told me who Miss Barbara was and the video that she's famously associated with, I was super excited to get a chance to meet her, even if it was just, you know, over the screen here. And yeah, she was in the Flash of Beauty documentary too, so that was really
and
cool. You could watch some of her there as well.
And that's what that's where I first saw her name, and she was talking, and that's when I went and sent her a friend request on Facebook.
Yeah.
Had never talked to her before, and she's such a nice lady.
Yeah, she seems like it.
So y'all, here's a picture, and here's a picture from the LBL the other night. If any of y'all know, I know a lot of you do know where the bison range is. This is around 10:30 to 11 o'clock, and we pulled in, and it just was so eerie. And y'all know how the LBL can be. So here's the picture, and it's like you can't go anywhere without seeing electric lines, right? I mean, this would have been so much better if those lines weren't there, because those are the stars. The the phone camera did an excellent job, but you talking about creepy, y'all. That was creepy, but it still showed up pretty good. So
That is gorgeous. Like I said,
and
eerie, creepy,
and
gorgeous, but
and Amanda, you probably know this,
Mhm.
but Peyton, he can take this picture and take those lines out. I may have him
Yeah,
do that. You
that
know,
would be really cool to do that. I was actually thinking the same thing. Yeah, you can there's we have the technology. So
right?
technology is here now. You
But
can take that kind of stuff out.
I
But
I didn't
me,
know
I've
that.
never been to the LBL myself yet,
Oh
but it's
no.
interesting. I know, I haven't been there yet, but I'm so familiar with it being in this wheelhouse here that it's crazy to see the power lines in it because you hear people talk about how
Mhm.
desolate it is there. So it's kind of interesting to see the power lines in the
And
picture.
there's a few things that need the Wrangler camp where they have the horses, and
Okay.
we weren't far from there that turn off. Um, there's the police station on the north end, and there's not really there are no stores, there are no houses or anything, but I guess they need it for some things.
Mm.
And I never had noticed the lines actually. And Iron Maiden here said 2013 saw a soccer ball sized blue orb in my face after praying. It flew from the wall of an adjacent room where I was hearing boots walking on a wooden floor.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
I've I've heard of older well, let's say of buildings and people seeing orbs and hearing uh like sounds like people walking or whatever. My son's grandmother on his mama's side, they have like 100 and something year old house, almost 120 or 30 years old, the center part, and it's been added on all around.
Mhm.
And you can't tell it by looking at it, but those older rooms have some strange activity.
I bet.
And some of them
Stuff holds
are
energy, so
some of them are orbs that just come out of the room along the top of the ceiling, and just
uh-huh.
and it's like it happens so much they don't even pay attention to it
They
now.
don't even pay attention to it no more, yeah.
No. So that's crazy that you would get desensitized to an orb, something.
Right? It is crazy how you get desensitized to that, which, I mean, I get that too. It's always the opposite. I saw so much, like, shadows and others, like, shadow figures and shadow blobs and stuff like that, you get to where you just kind of,
Like, oh,
uh,
well, that's just
I'm just gonna roll over and pretend you're not
yes, yeah, yeah. They haven't bothered me before, so
eh,
y'all.
really spooky.
I want to show this to you because y'all saw the orb video, and I told y'all I was looking at a face through the thermal that Flat Rock had, and it wasn't filming, and he snapped a picture, right? So
Uh-huh.
I want to show the picture, and y'all be the judge. I know what I was looking at, and I know paranoia, and I know it's hard to see things. I understand that, but because I know what I was looking at, I'm gonna show it, and I'm gonna explain to you what I think we're looking at. It could be totally wrong, okay? But y'all just this is because we said we took a picture. I want to show y'all. I probably won't show it again, but y'all, some people don't see anything. Some people see a little bit of what we're talking about. Okay, here we go. So this is the picture. Now, it doesn't show up good here, but that blackest part there in the front, looks like a fist, like this. We know that to the right of it on the screen is the tree because you can see the grains in the tree and it shows up lighter, cooler. That is closer to us, so it's darker, hot. It looks like the hand against the tree and the wrist at this angle right here coming down, and then the face is behind it. So y'all, y'all look at it and figure out what, I was looking at a face when this picture was taken on the thermal. That's the only one we got. Flat Rock did a great job getting that. And so let me explain something else too. So just before he took the picture, the head moved like it was going down just a little bit, and then of
just
course,
that quick, it's gone.
and it was gone. Right.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Larry's got a good question here.
Larry, it's a good question. Yes, I have, and anything we talk about is going to be strange. But I got a phone call. Matter of fact, last week, and somebody had heard about me seeing that big animal of some kind, and I only saw the rear end. I didn't see a tail. I made a big deal out of it, because I didn't see anything that I could identify. No elbow, no foot, no ears, no chin, nothing. It was facing away, and it looked like it was digging, and it continued to walk into the woods as I was backing up trying to get the truck lights on it. I got a good look at it. Heather didn't get to see it, and it was right beside her. It had to be a 600 or 700 pound animal. Okay.
That's a big one.
It was big. It was large. It shook me up. It shook me. Spencer can attest to that. I called him and I was shook up because we just seen the white wolf, and I can leave that picture up and for a minute for y'all. It does look better on your phone or whatever. I mean, than it does here. And I'll keep talking. But so the question about have you heard anything else? Somebody called me and said that one other thing before I forget. If you see all the white around this, it's kind of a circle. So you got the tree to the right that looks white, but the rest of that stuff is are leaves. This is a shot through an opening, and it would be the only say if I was on the other side, it would be an opening where I could see us. So it was in an opening of foliage. So and it was pretty close. Anyway, and I hate to almost say what I'm about to say, but this person told me that they saw something big like that, but the face and the head was longer than a bear. He said, if you think about a camel or anteater type snout, yes. And I'm like, what? And because I didn't see that, and they're like, yeah, and we saw it, and they told where they saw it, and I'm like, oh Lord, that's close to where I saw this thing.
No, thank you.
I'm not saying I saw a 700 pound anteater. I'm just saying I don't know what I saw. I know it shook me up, but I didn't see a tail. Even if I saw a tail, I could probably tell what animal it was.
Yeah.
And I don't mean that there was a tail there and I didn't see it. I got the lights were on this animal when I saw it. So I didn't, the butt cheeks and everything, I didn't see a tail. So
that was my next question is the rump, was it humanoid like a gorilla, or was it like a bear, or a skinny kind of like a
it was
I'm trying to think of something like a chimpanzee, or
it wasn't a pig shaped. I've seen a ton of those.
Yeah.
Possibly. Now the bears I've seen have probably been 250, 300 pounds, maybe. But the out in Yellowstone and the Tetons National Park and all that. Now those those are big bears.
Yeah,
This thing
them get
was
wide.
right. This thing was twice the size of any black bear I've ever seen up close. I don't know the answer to that question as far as like it didn't look human,
Yeah.
it didn't look pig, and if it was a bear, it was a huge bear. But here's the kicker. Um,
Mhm.
it was cold. So I don't know
Mm.
whether they hibernate up there or they stay out year round. I don't
Yeah,
know
I
how
don't know
many there
that
are.
either.
We did see a hog this last trip, but it was weird because it was pinkish with small black spots in a couple
Oh,
places, like a domesticated
that's what I say. It sounds like a
hog.
domestic hog, but was it looked like a wild hog except for its coloring?
It didn't have okay, so it wasn't like you see a razorback or some of these wild javelina looking things where they're bigger in the front and they're
Yeah,
more
yeah.
smaller in the back.
Yeah, and then they
This
get
was
narrow as they go back.
right. This was like a domesticated hog. It wasn't super big, like
Yeah.
like it was fed and it didn't get around and move. So yes, it did look like a wild hog in a way, but it didn't look the normal wild hog. Now I don't
Mm.
know where it would come from, and I've heard that they try to take care of those. Sometimes they'll shut the park down
Mhm.
and they'll get out with helicopters and stuff and try to eradicate a few. So
Yeah. Look at Wendell's comment here. I'm gonna pull it up.
I, yeah,
It
I
said,
never had heard of that
Roger, I have
before.
heard of a giant anteater type cryptid around the LBL several times.
Yeah,
Like I said, there's other things out there that we call them boogers down here for a reason because there's other things besides just Bigfoot and Dogman that we've learned about now, and you know,
yep.
sheep squatch and all these other things. Like I said, we just categorized them as all as
Oh,
boogers. So
hog man, that wasn't.
Dogman, yeah, man, bear, pig.
And this phone call come in before I no, it was after after we came back.
Yeah.
And I don't know, y'all. I mean, I just I
Well, I
hate to
mean, like
even
the thing I seen, it may have been Bigfoot, it may have been not, but I just like I said, it still looked like a. I described it as a bearskin rug because it that's what it
go
looked like
low on the
laying there
ground.
with its mouth laying there looking at me with its mouth open and stuff. But it didn't look like a bear. It didn't look like a gorilla or a human. It's weird looking. So, like I
Yeah,
said, there's weird things out there. So,
a
as
and
many weird
normally
stuff as there is at the LBL, nothing surprises me.
and normally, um, if a bear walks through your yard in Georgia, it's gonna look like a bear, right?
Right? You know a
And that's
bear when you see one.
right, yeah, I mean, so now I can understand a identification if somebody's driving down the road 65 miles an hour, they look over and they get a glimpse of something dark standing up. Yeah, that yeah, but if know, a conglomeration of things and a completion of none.
Yeah, that's actually a really good one.
Hold on, I'm itching here. All right, let's see. So yeah, I mean the picture. I thought I've shown some people. Some people, you don't see anything. I have the advantage of knowing what I was looking at uh,
Mhm.
when the picture was taken.
Yeah,
So I'm the wrong one to be analyzing the photo. That would be something other people need to do.
gotcha.
But I put it now something, man. Is Flat Rock you still in here? I'm gonna, I think you mentioned this the other night, so I'll tell them what we've done the past few days. I hadn't told anybody this. So
Alright.
listen to this, y'all. So there there was a collective idea. I don't know where it come from, but we have we started a chat with Harley and Ken and Flat Rock and me, and we were discussing some things that we had seen, about the incident, and it's still there. Um, by daggum, I know we saw me and my mom saw a what looked like a lemur. Uh, no, it was north end of the county. It was just over the county line one night, and it looked like a monkey with a. This thing looked like a monkey with a long tail and everything, and the way it ran was odd. Now, I believe it probably was a pet that had gotten away or whatever.
Yeah.
But I was like, "Daggone, what is that?" My mom, she's, "Oh no," and I'm like, "What did you just see?" And she explained it, and I'm like, "That's what I saw." But who knows who bring what's in here? Um, let's
Something
see.
interesting too to think about, or at least that I've heard my whole life up here in North Georgia, is about the circus trains that used to come through. And, sometimes there was, several wrecks that happened where they didn't catch the animals, so that was what my mom and my grandparents always told me about, where we would see, like, the crazy, wildcats, the, liger looking like panthers or the black panthers and things like that, so seeing, weird monkey looking type things that here in the mountains that aren't supposed to
Right.
exist, that's could
And it
I
could
mean,
be a
I'm just
one
trying
off.
to think of natural
Mhm.
ways things like that could happen, 'cause I know that that's a big thing in Florida as far as the skunk ape stuff is concerned, is, there's so many released,
Snakes and
monkeys and everything
exotic
like that down
animals.
there now.
Absolutely. And you don't never know. And it could be like a one-time thing, like you said, something
Mhm.
got away and it's
Yeah.
trying to get back home and is moving across different counties and that could explain some things, some sightings, yeah, for sure.
Mhm.
Because we saw a monkey one time. It was me, Peyton, my dad, and my mom. Peyton and I and my dad saw it at the same time,
Uh-huh.
and it's coming through a hayfield, and it was a black and white monkey, and it was a mon
Oh, wow.
it wasn't a cryptid, it was a daggum monkey, and we
Yeah.
all we're all coming up because, you don't wanna fight a monkey,
Uh-uh.
you know,
No.
and we're, like, trying to, get the weapons and stuff, and we're, 20 yards from the back door of the house, and, like, I'm thinking I may have told them, "Y'all if it gets too close, let's get in the shed and lock the door because it can't come through this metal." Uh,
Yeah.
but anyway, it saw us and it turned, and that's just one of those stories. I don't know if the neighbor had one that got away or, but
Mhm.
we were close to interstate too, so who knows what happened. Y'all, I got a little quick video. We rode around in LBO all night. Didn't have a campground. We woke people up in Colson. It was packed with people. We went over to see if the bathroom was open, and I didn't even go there because there were so many people. We rode for hours upon hours. When daybreak hit, there was hundreds of deer. There was 10 or 12 bucks or pretty deer too with them, and a lot of lone females. So I was assuming they had a small one somewhere,
Mm.
laying down probably. And but I got a bunch of videos. I got frustrated and deleted all of them but one, and I meant to
Oh,
delete this
no.
one. Yeah, yeah, it wasn't going too well, and I'm like, "The heck with this." But, I'm gonna show y'all a field out by the Wranglers camp, and there was a lot of this. This is just a 19-second clip. See how pretty it was. Here we go. I had several films like that, and I wish I'd have saved them because we could have shown them. But,
That's just so peaceful sounding.
oh, man, it was. Oh, no. Richway Store had a Atlanta had
Yeah,
a
that's what
cobra
I was
come
went like that
in.
for right before you pulled up the video. I was like, "Oh my gosh." Ridgeway store in Atlanta had a cobra come in a shipment of fabric.
And look,
Nothing surprises me coming through Atlanta.
and if I had a thermal like, camera like, Flat Rock, I would have definitely I'd had it out all night. But we don't have anything that good. But there would be a good place to go around at night and just hit those fields and up in the woods. A lot of those, uh, dirt roads to the bay. I mean, down in the south end, it's mostly dirt roads. We noticed on the top end up at Demumbers Bay and some of those places, man, they were paved. Really
Oh, wow.
nice. Yeah, so all right, Randall. Yeah, we're not doing anything. If y'all have any questions about anything, shoot. I mean,
Mhm.
that's what we're doing. But I definitely wanted to show you. I didn't want to leave y'all hanging. Like, yeah, we took a picture through the thermal. If it had shown up really, really well, y'all would have seen it earlier. But I wanted y'all to see it just to,
Mm.
And I can, Flat Rock has it. Uh, I think Harley yeah, I know Harley has it because he's the one that zoomed in on this right here on that part. Um, but yeah, if y'all see them and ask them and want to get a copy of it and look at it and play with the color and stuff, it just it just don't pop out. But here's what squirrel, right? Here's what I was gonna say. Here's what we've been doing. So with Harley and Ken and Kenny Shivers and Flat Rock, um, we started taking audio. Good time to come in here, Ken. I'm telling about what we've been up to the past week or so. So we decided to take some audio and take pictures and put in Chat GPT and have it analyze it.
Ooh, interesting.
And oh my God, Chat GPT will tell the truth.
Mm-hmm.
It Flat Rock took a couple of his. He probably did more, but some that we could hear. One that he said was a juvenile
Mm-hmm.
that messes with them down there all the time, and it sounded like
Yeah.
a chimpanzee. Um, you're hearing it, you think you're hearing it or whatever. Well, Chat GPT took it and put it on a spectrogram. It did
Mm-hmm.
all the scientific analysis
Oh, wow, that's cool.
and the numbers, and it came back primate. It came
Ooh.
back chimpanzee like, and what it does,
Chimpanzee-like.
it doesn't. Well, I mean, I might have added that, but I mean,
Oh,
like
okay, gotcha.
you know what I'm saying? So that might be good information that maybe some of the juveniles in different areas might sound like chimpanzee-ish. Um, so, but the fact that it didn't just say, "Hey, it falls in this range," it was like this is more than likely a chimpanzee because of the power,
Mm-hmm.
the different things that they do with their voice. It
Yeah.
matched up, and Chat GPT did a really good job of breaking it down. And I forgot to tell anybody. It was like I went to sleep. I was like, oh my God, this could change things. This might be revolutionary actually. And I don't know if we've told anybody. I saw Flat Rock told somebody,
You ain't
but
told me about it yet.
I forgot. I'm sorry. Yeah. And
It's
then
okay.
the
I'm
picture.
sitting here, my wheels are turning as you're telling me this because I was thinking, it's like, I wonder how it would compare to like analysis wise of that as compared to somebody like the boys at Sawdust Beast, in their audio
Right.
analysis type
Yep.
stuff, how it would
Well,
compare to that. Because I
well,
love to play with AI with like the mask and the replica of a Bigfoot at the museum I work at,
yeah.
and it never can pick it up as a face or a human face. It always either says, unknown, or it always turns it into some kind of an animal. It never recognizes it as like humanoid to do
Right.
whatever the AI filter stuff is to it. So the way that AI works with any of the cryptid stuff and how it analyzes it and stuff, it makes the wheels in my head turn. It's fascinating,
Well, do this.
especially when you wear 10 hats when it comes to the AI stuff.
Well, go outside or inside and record your cat or a dog or a person or
Uh-huh.
another animal, and then just load it into that, and
Yeah.
it's easy. And then with the picture, that picture that I just showed y'all,
Yeah.
oh,
Uh-oh.
it it had an outline around the hand and the wrist and forearm, and it had an outline around the head and shoulders and everything, and it said that it looked like a hand resting on a tree, and the angle for the wrist and arm was perfect for a live
Interesting.
individual. It was. I say I forgot to tell you all this. I'm sorry. We
No,
just
this is it. This is
we
awesome. This is interesting.
well, we've had so much going on. there's been a lot going on behind
There
the
has been a
scenes with
lot going on,
everybody,
yeah.
but y'all, I mean, any of y'all that know how it's easy. I mean, Flat Rock never had used. I might go. My internet's doing something here.
Uh-oh. You gonna
Yeah,
disappear on me again?
yeah, maybe not. Um,
It'd be
so any of
interesting to
y'all
try it on some of the other AI services like Grok or any of those. So, okay, you're shaking your head.
that
So,
we've tested that, they'll lie to you.
oh, really? Okay.
Chat GPT will not lie to you. As
Okay.
far as or well, let's put it this way: it's not scared to say certain terms. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
If you ask about tinfoil hat type things
Hmm.
and explain say, look, I've heard this conspiracy theory or this theory about energy and this and the pyramid, whatever. It'll go into detail. It don't care about who's trying to hide what.
That's
So
interesting because I
be
know Grok, that the Elon Musk AI, it
mhm,
actually has like a conspiracy. Um, what's the word I'm looking for? When you're doing like different options that you can select, if you want just like the
mhm.
basic analysis of something, or if you want something for like homework or science, it has an actual conspiracy um selection that you can pick, and it gets nuts with some of the conspiracy stuff it throws out there at you. But then again, it could just be making fun of us, I
Right.
guess.
Well, do that, and then see the difference in the Chat GPT. And the thing about the Chat GPT is, in
Hmm.
which others are, you can get more into detail. Do you have any
Yeah.
questions? Do you want me to this? Try that sometime. And
Okay,
y'all,
I'll try.
Flat Rock didn't know how to use it, and he downloaded the app, and man, he was rocking and rolling. There he is, Flat Rock. You found out anything else? But it's amazing. It's amazing. So if any of y'all have audio, pop it in there and see, and it gets detailed, y'all. Hey Jim, Patrick, y'all, I'm missing y'all. I'm missing everybody. Jeffrey. Um, but no, and I don't know. We've I was blown away. And Ken, I don't know if you Ken had I haven't talked to him about it yet.
Uh-huh.
We'll get him on to talk about it. He has a recording,
Okay.
and he was at a very special place, and he caught a whoop, and Flat Rock isolated it for him, and it's a excellent whoop. So
That's cool. I'd
anyway,
love to hear that.
yeah, I mean, y'all might see it on somebody else's show or something, but it's I listened to it. I heard it before they cleaned it up. I mean, it's there. I think there was water running, around the waterfalls or whatever,
Mhm.
but it's definitely there. But
Interesting.
Ken, you want to come on and talk about that sometime? Because he's got a story with it too. And I may be overstepping. He might not want to share it with everybody,
Yeah.
but he, getting out and actually keep those recorders on. Because I didn't have my recorder on. It got daylight. I found a Squatchin Holler at the top of the hill on the main highway. There's a picnic ground, and it has one of those bathrooms. So we went and I got out to go use the restroom, and I'd be dang if I didn't hear like 3 or 4 or 5 howls in a row, and it wasn't dogs. And I'm, oh crap! So carry, carry the recorder to the bathroom with you. Um, that's a good question. I
Yeah.
That's a very good question.
Yeah, where does
I
any
would
of this AI things get their information from? That is
I
a very good question.
I was asking that. I got asked that same question, and I'm not, from a friend that does investigations, and the way I understand is whatever's out there on the internet. I don't know if it's getting stuff like in a private folder, because this person, well, when that person asked me that, I'm like, I don't know if it's getting into private stuff, but anything on the
Well, it's
internet
surprising
anywhere in the
none of it
world,
did.
yeah. So no, but that, I mean, you know what? Hold on a second. Who asked that? All right, hold on. That's a new name. Ronnie, A. All right. Here's what I'm about to do. I'm always chat GPT. Ronnie wants to know where you get your information at. No, I'm kidding. Because I do too. I didn't think about asking it. Where
Yeah.
do you get your info from? I get my information from a combination of sources. One, I was pre-trained on public data before 2024. A large mixture of text from books, websites like Wikipedia, government pages, technical blogs, scientific literature, etc., news articles, public forums, instructional material, and code. This helps me understand language, provide knowledge, and on broad range of topics. Note, I wasn't trained on or given access to private data unless it's publicly available or shared with permission. I don't have direct access to proprietary, that's hard to say, databases or paid services unless you provide input from them. Two, built-in knowledge cut off as of April 24. My internal knowledge is current to April 24, so I can answer most historical technical questions up to that point without needing the internet. Oh Lord.
Interesting.
So anything up until April 2024 is in there. That's why it's so fast. And then anything after that, I guess it has to search. Real-time info, if enabled. I didn't know that. You can, when you ask for the most recent news, prices, events, or anything location-based, I can use a tool that browses the web to fetch live data. You will see me say something like searching the web if that happens. If you're wondering about specific kinds of info like Bigfoot sightings, legal rules, medical guidance, or pop culture, ask and I'll break down where that type of info comes from. There you go.
It's almost like it knows what questions you've been asking it about.
Yeah.
Remembered.
Yeah. Yeah, chat GP. And make no mistake, y'all, it gets to know you.
Mm-hmm.
And I talked to a man last week, and his brother was using AI and learning how to use AI. And he did that his whole career. And I want y'all to guess a year when this man's brother was using AI for the first time. Y'all shoot out some years. I'm gonna write it down.
I'm just gonna shoot out 2014. I wanted to say 1999, but
all right. So Ronnie's, I see. Hold on, let me. My chat's not scrolling. Hold on.
Yeah, we got a 2000 from Ronnie and a 1999 from Leanne. Katie G's given 1967. That wouldn't surprise me at all, to be honest.
All right. Yeah. I hope y'all can see this.
2003, 1930, 2001. Oh my gosh.
1962.
Oh my gosh.
Yep. And what's odd was 58. Patrick. Well, that is close. Scott B. and Patrick. 1962. Now, it shouldn't be surprising because I saw a video one time of the old Vietnam, the guys that were on the water, the frogmen, that before they were Navy SEALs, and there was a guy that I knew that was an original frogman. And I asked him one day, I saw something on the History Channel, and they were cruising on those boats. It's Vietnam era, late 60s. And they had these domes on the top of the boats. And I was like, Max, what were those things on the boats? And he said, that was GPS. I'm like, back then? He said, oh man, the things that don't say that G word, but the
Yeah, you
things that
better watch it now.
yeah, yeah, I don't want to get kicked off. Um, but yeah, I mean, some of this technology that we get exposed to, we all know that it's been in use for
Mhm.
forever. Hey, Peyton, y'all, Peyton, Peyton has him a new girlfriend, and she's so sweet. She's she's gonna keep him straight. She's from Pennsylvania, and she's Italian, so uh
Ooh.
yeah, he's gonna have to. But hey, Bree, thanks for watching. We have your birthday present here, so come get it. Uh, hey, Anita, are you new on here? I thought
Well,
I'd seen
welcome
you
aboard,
before.
darling.
Yeah, you got here just in time for the changeover. I don't know. We, I don't know when it.
Speaking of changeover, I saved one. Pyro asked a question going back about that. It says, "Are you going to have some of your more well-known guests on again for the news show?"
Yes,
Yes,
sir. Yes, sir.
yes, we will.
We are. I'll tell you this. We're slated for Thursdays at 7.
Hmm.
Um, and we can. Um, Anita, you're not new anywhere. Yeah, I thought I'd seen. I know. I thought I met you at the last year or year before
Yeah, I
last.
didn't recognize the name.
Yeah. I thought I did. I mean, maybe you were standing. You were talking to Daryl and Martin, and I was and Barton was there. You know, the two conferences ago. Um, yeah,
You look
we're actually
familiar. I do
we're actually
too.
we're actually Facebook friends.
Yeah, that's what I
But
was thinking. It's probably on Facebook
yeah,
somewhere.
but we add so many people, and you don't get to talk to them much. But
Yeah.
yeah, yes, absolutely, to give us opportunity to go back and like let's say there's one particular guest I've already reached out to. When she was on the show back when I first started, she had just started with the BFRO, and she had, had casted a footprint and had things happen. Well, since then, in a year, almost 2 years, she's had a Bigfoot video go viral. She was investigating for the BFRO. And if y'all remember last winter, the deep snow tracks up north that was filmed for the BFRO, it went viral. It was on all kind of big like news shows. She actually filmed that. So she has that,
Oh.
and she's investigated way more. She's become really involved. So she has a whole lot more stories now
Oh,
than she had.
cool.
I know, Anita. I know.
I'm in the same boat.
I was going to say something to you, but you were busy. It's it and hey TKB. And we don't know about moderators. I don't know. I'm sure we'll be able to maybe we can make I don't know. They may have to do that. So
Yeah, we'll figure that out and let y'all know as we figure it out too.
yeah. We got to get things ready, and uh I think Doug's going to start making artwork probably I would say pretty quickly. For
That'd be
we have green screens and all that. Yeah, Gary, uh I think I almost knocked over Gary Sticks, Anita, or maybe I did knock him over. I can't remember. But that's been so long ago. Was that me, Gary, or was that somebody else? I can't remember.
Miss Anita's
Oh,
actually asking a good question. Thursday at what time? So
we
it would be,
Thursday is 7. Sorry.
yep, 7 Central. For
Central.
us
Yeah.
East Coast people, it's going to be 8 o'clock Eastern, 7 Central, 6 Mountain, and 5 Pacific. Look at me, I
And
can do some math.
specific.
Pacific, specific. Blah, blah, blah,
Pacifics.
blah, blah. Yeah,
Um, but we got permission to if we have a guest, a really, like a really good guest, but they can only come on like on Monday night or whatever, we can do that, or a Saturday. But basically we're going to be Thursdays at 7.
hmm
Um, There's Bigfoot Phage from Cali. Anita, I'm from southern middle Tennessee. I'm not far from Alabama. Amanda is from Georgia, and
I'm
she
up
works
here
at
in the
the.
middle of North Georgia, about 30 miles from the Tennessee state line.
Yeah, tell her where you work. I'm sure she knows where that's at.
Oh yeah. So I have the great pleasure of working at David Becerra's museum up here in North Georgia, the Expedition Bigfoot, the Sasquatch Museum.
So she talks Bigfoot 24/7. Oregon. I'm sorry, Big Phage.
More or less, yeah.
But we could talk about where.
Yep, cherry log. That's us.
Yep, where how this has progressed, and that the guest, starting out, it's tough to get guests, at first, and then after you get about, you get a little bit of a few shows under your belt, people start seeing you, and then done a lot of the advertising with some of the videos and crazy stuff with the logos, and just kind of keep the name out there, when we're not doing a show. So they're about to control your show when you. Oh no, nope.
No, so
We.
what, or at least the way I'm explaining it to everybody is that we're still Squatchin Holler. We're still going to
Mhm,
be here. We're not going nowhere. We're just going under their umbrella
right.
company name. So basically, they're going to be helping with a lot of some of the production and just pushing the show out there to other platforms besides just YouTube.
Yeah,
So it's
and
just a ways of helping the channel and the show grow.
be a
So
little
yeah,
more,
we're not going
little.
anywhere. We're not losing control of anything per se. We
Yeah,
just we help them, they help us, and that's how that rolls.
and I mean, they don't have time. They got so many podcasts under them that they don't have time
Yeah,
to
they got what is it,
monitor
at
them.
least a dozen, I think, from what I
But
remember looking at.
I think our logo is going to even out the side, maybe 11 or 12 or 14. I didn't count them, but yeah, no, we're still in control. Yes, Katie G
Yes.
nails it.
Yep, more or less.
Yep, it's yep. And the thing is, yeah, and they have a show now, but we're here. Thank you, Pyro.
Yeah.
And another thing, that's a good point, Pyro. They won't. They don't have southern representation, and that's what they were looking for. Um, and you know, um, I feel I feel like we can provide that. So we're in
If anybody
control of
wants
all
to sit
that.
around and listen to my cornbread accent, God bless.
I'm so glad you said accent. I
Yeah.
thought you was about to say something. No.
Oh yeah.
Are you? I'm not replacing anybody. I
No.
don't know if anybody, maybe somebody left and whatever. Hey, Amanda, can you chit chat and let me run for a
Yeah,
second?
no, I got you.
Take over, please, ma'am.
Yes, sir, I got you. Oh Lord. So y'all are a hoot. Roger, I would pull this up, Larry. No, I don't think we would be replacing Sasquatch Outpost. Um, I don't know if I want to speak for them or against everything, but I personally love Mr. Jim Myers, and of course I love Sibylla. For those of you who don't know, I actually got to work with Sibylla at Expedition Bigfoot when I very first started there years and years ago. Sibylla is an amazing, amazing researcher and just an amazing all around great person. So yeah, I don't think they're going nowhere. At least I hope they don't. They're out there doing a lot of good work out in Colorado. That's for sure. So here, Miss Catherine, us Southerners are a tad bit in. Yeah, yeah, we are. And they found their Southerners. Yep. Not just
I s
any Southern, Appalachian Southern too. Thank you very much.
Well, wait a minute now. I can see
Well,
Appalachia
no,
from my back
that's right.
porch.
You're right there on the edge of it.
I can see it.
You're close
I
enough.
can
I'll count you.
Right. uh, so yeah, I saw Catherine right before I left. She said, they found some southern."
Yeah.
um, yeah, and like with some of the former guests, it'd be a opportunity to do better, and I'm sure a lot of them have had other things happen. We talked about paraplegia. We talked about you know a lot of them actually talking about part two. So
Yeah, yeah, we've had a
uh
lot of people who said they would love to come back for part 2, and I would love to have some of them back for part 2.
yeah, and even some of the ones when I first started, like um I've been wanting to get them back on, but
Mhm.
there's so many people. There's tons of people that I'd love to have on, and
Mhm.
eventually we'll get to them and we'll get to all y'all. um, but yeah, you know it's going to be a little bit of a change, but
Mhm.
um, I think we're going to be better off. And basically, like, so if I was to start like putting things on some of these other podcast apps, you have to go through certain amount of growth and whatever, and you start from nothing. Well, with this way, we start hitting the ground running.
Mhm.
Uh, so everything's like ready to go, and you've got an audience and all that. So
Yeah, I'm excited.
yeah, I mean they more or less like, look, join up with us. We'll help market everything and spread everything around. We'll help with tech issues if you have them, and
Mhm.
we'll sit back and leave you alone, let you do your thing. So
I was just humbled that somebody like Doug Hychek, um, apparently saw something in us just from our interview with him that he liked enough to offer for us to come under him. That's a very humbling experience
yeah,
for somebody just throwing little old me out here, putting yourself out there on the internet, and you're getting to talk to all these people that you've looked up to for so long, and they like it. It's very exciting.
well, and here's one thing I think that makes us different.
Mhm.
Um, First off, it's like you said about what I've said before. You told Doug, we take the subject seriously, but ourselves we don't, not so much or whatever.
Yep.
Um, we like to have fun. We like to talk and meet people and be kind of relaxed doing it. But here's another thing. Uh, we've had we've had experiences, and we've talked to people, and we've had things happen to us. We've seen things. Amanda all day long um, is talking to people about this stuff. So
Mhm.
I think sometimes our questions. I'm not tooting our horn or anything, but I watch other shows. I think sometimes our interaction with the guest, I've actually had some come back immediately after the show and send me a message like, "Wow, that was fun."
Yeah.
But because instead of, because what I just go and tell you what I like to do. I like to go and watch a little bit of their interviews and see how it's done. And if I watch 10 shows, it's like cookie cutter, you know, boom, 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 the same. It's all the same. It's all the same. And
Mhm.
and for me telling my story on so many shows, it gets boring for the guest and all. And I like to engage with them and have conversations. And like with me, if I was on the show and we were doing something else, y'all can go watch Bigfoot Society, mine, Woodwalkers, Sawdust Bay. I name a bunch of shows. Y'all can go see my story. Hold on. I saw
I just like
hold on.
getting to know the people because
Yeah.
for me, you've seen them on other shows and even in documentaries, or me being the book nerd, read some of them even in books and stuff. Like to get to know them. Like, how did you get into Bigfoot? And getting to know them as a person as well
Yeah.
is really nice.
Yeah. I mean, and and I'm not. There's a lot of shows out there that's a whole lot better. I understand that. There's a lot better
Yeah.
production, and that's what we're doing. We're just kind of slicking up the production a little bit, and
Mhm.
because you know there are people that love sitting around talking and don't care what the background looks like, and then there's people that need the bells and whistles to go along, right? And we've talked about different types of shows with the same show, but we've
Mhm.
talked about things, and when we talk about doing certain things, we're like, we understand attention spans because I'm
Mhm.
horrible,
You
and
got no
and
attention span.
and we're planning some things, some fun shows, that I think will be fun,
Mhm.
and it'll be more shows like this. We're gonna keep it mixed up, keep it fresh. So,
Mhm.
you know, ever so often we'll do a show where y'all are involved. We'll
Yep.
we'll be telling stories or reading stuff and talking to y'all because yeah, I don't want to sound too whatever, but y'all are a big part of this too. So,
Mhm.
and sometimes when we have guests that we're going to try to pack in a heck of an interview in an hour and 30 minutes. Sometimes I'm so interested I forget about chat. So y'all know that y'all know
Yeah.
y'all know I do that. Yeah, and KDG, when I started this, I didn't know what I was doing at all. Still don't much, but um, I had a plan, and my plan was I saw the group A, group B, C, D, and E. Everybody's like, "Oh, they're crazy. Oh, they're crazy. No, you're crazy. No, well, yeah, we're crazy,
Mhm.
but y'all are
Oh, if
stupid."
you don't
So
believe that, you're crazy. No, we're right, you're wrong.
yeah,
That drives me
so
crazy.
so it was like, wait a minute. I'm okay. I'm reading and I'm watching here and I'm watching this. How there ain't there a way for everybody to be a little bit right? You
Mhm.
know, you're experiencing this over on this mountain, and these whatever may not have ever been exposed to any of the others. So they're doing things their way. Uh Different types of things, different types of the orbs we've experienced, just the ones I've seen, they're all been different. So I don't know. Yeah. And y'all know I have the attention span of a gnat. West Virginia, you over there close to Billy. What did Catherine say? I have the attention span of a gnat. What did you? And then like Pyro was like, "What?" Y'all are funny. Uh, yeah. I'm just gonna put this up. I'm not gonna say anything.
Yeah, just let it speak for
Just
itself.
let it speak for itself. Y'all read that a couple times. Look, look. I'll just go ahead and tell you what I told Doug. He said, "Why are you doing a podcast?" I said, "Well, I started it to learn. I'm doing that." And I said, "I'm also doing it. And the reason I'm doing that is because not knocking anybody at all. I had stuff happen to me as a young kid, you know, UFOs, the Bigfoot, uh, missing time, uh, orbs, all that." And I said, "I want to know why me."
Yeah.
And I said, "I'm not coming from, I was interested in it as a kid. And then just, hey, at 54 or 52, when I started, 52 starts, hey, I want to do a podcast." No, there's no way in the world I could sit here and do this without having some kind of experiences. Uh, but what it does is those experiences opened my mind way up, right?
Mhm.
So let's say I had a guest on one time early on. I'm sitting there, I'm trying to keep my jaw from hitting the table, and I'm like, "What in the world is this person talking about?" You know? Oh my god, what? Really? About 2 months ago, I sent a message to this person. I said, I want to apologize to you. You don't know this, but when we were talking, I had no clue what you were talking about. We had a good show, but the things that I've experienced in the past year and a half, because of what things that you said, I kind of knew how it fit in. And I'm like, wow, that person was telling the truth.
Mhm.
So now if I'd have totally rejected that, you know, right, Middle Tennessee, uh, my cousins live north of around the Duck River. It's flat. Southern end of Marsh County is really hilly in the, you know, the ridge system I talk about all the time. But uh, they were from Wheel, over by the Duck River Speedway, and they call themselves Wheelbillies. So
Hillbillies. I
yeah,
like that.
because they don't have any hills. It's flat up there, so they're not hillbillies. They're wheelbillies.
I like that.
No, it's right. And look, I'm not scared to say I don't know. And I'll say,
Mhm.
I don't know. Do you know? Can you help me out? What do you know about it?
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah, that's
not.
one of the first things I picked up on when me and you got to talking and getting to know each other is to say, "I don't know," and not be scared of it,
Yeah, I'm not.
which has
I'm not
actually
gonna say.
made it better for me because Lord knows I'm still learning as I'm going along, and it's nice to be able to learn that you can say, "I don't know," in these
Yeah,
fields.
yeah, and
Especially when
you
people
know.
start coming to you looking for answers. I'm like, "I don't know."
Oh, it happened. Oh, no, I'm not. This is funny. So, here I am. I've got a $80 camera and the Walmart laptop and all this stuff, and we just sit around
Uh-huh.
and talk, right? Well, we went to a meet and greet, and not the first one, was the second one. I had a couple people come up to me, like, "Hey, good to meet you," or whatever. And they started asking me questions, which is cool.
Uh-huh.
But every question they asked me, I was like, I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know. I don't know. And I'm like, y'all, I'm sorry. I don't. I can't. I'm not gonna make up anything. You know. Man, y'all typing some stories here. Hold on a second.
I'm gonna read Miss Katie's here because I
All
like
right.
it. It says, one reason I'm glad big science ain't got a hold onto the subject is once they do, everything will be sorted into it has to be this way or that way, or to say anything different will be wrong. And honey, you ain't wrong.
Yep. Once again, here's a good one. And they different from they're different from region area to region, depending on interactions they have. Exactly. And think about this. I said early on when I first started doing this, when if you do an investigation and Amanda calls, "Hey man, I need you to come out here. I had this. I saw this Bigfoot run across the road in front of me." And then the
Mhm.
investigation crew shows up, and maybe they're a TV show, right? I've seen this before. And they're like, "Well, it
Mhm.
don't make any sense. Why would they be here?" Y'all, if y'all have animals or you've been around people, pressure, hunting pressure, surprise encounter with a person, I what you need to do is, okay, that don't make sense. Go over here. If it was coming this way, go over to this neighborhood and say, anything happened weird in the past few days, or go to the police station, look if there's any
Mhm.
reports. And the guy said, man, there's something big stomping my chickens flat, and I shot at it, and it took off running up that bank. Well, that's the information you need.
Yep.
It don't make any sense for it to be here. Find out why it was there, because all of us react different to pressure. And I've seen deer jump off of rock bluffs, not trying to kill themselves, but they did. But they were reacting to pressure. They panicked. So
Mhm.
yeah, and you can read a book, and I can if I don't know anything about hunting, and I pick up a book on how to hunt deer, let's say, yeah, it's got some guidelines and some things that they do that we know they do and all that. But that's not everything, because they're alive. They've got their
Mhm.
own thoughts. They got their own things. They react to different things. Um, you know, uh, a buck deer can't help it when it's that time of year. He's crazy out of his mind. That's why a lot of them get killed. Um,
Mhm.
now, 9 months out of the year, they don't act like that, right? But we know kind of how they act. But I'm gonna tell you, I've seen some strange stuff in the woods. So I y'all, I'm soft hearted. I was hunting one time, and it was bow season, and it happened to been drizzling rain. And I'm like, all right. So I when it does that, you can sneak in because the leaves are wet, right? So I took all this time to get to this one spot, and I'm over a small rock crusher, and I'm looking down. I'm going to ambush some of them that come up. Well, this terrapin turtle comes walking by. I thought, oh, that's cool. And he goes over, and oh, don't get close to the ledge. And boom, there he goes. He falls about 20, 25 feet. He bounces down to there. And he lands upside down, wedged in between two rocks. And he's laying there. He's on his back. He's kicking. And I'm about 13 or so, 14, maybe 15. And I'm looking down there, and I'm like, if he can't get upright, he's gonna die. He can't breathe. And I'm like, I don't want to move because I've snuck in here. I spent all this time getting to this spot without being detected. And I'm sitting there watching this turtle. And I'm like, I can't sit here and watch him die. I climb my fat butt down this rock bluff, flipped this turtle over, cussed him a little bit for ruining my hunting, and then I went out on the road over here and walked back home. But because I couldn't watch a turtle die. So, here people think you're cruel because you're hunting, but you're like, man, I can't, now if I see one flat on road, I'll go, oh man, that's horrible. But I don't want to see it happen, but
not when you know that there's something that you can do to help. That happened. We actually we got a nest here at our house, so some baby birds in it. And unfortunately, they must have been something wrong with it because the
sorry.
two of the yeah. Anyway, the little babies had jumped out. And one of them was already gone, and the other one. So me and Shane figured we got a big ladder and got up on our second story because the door is stuck and we can't open it. Anyway, had go to this whole big thing to try to save this little bitty bird, and unfortunately, it was done too far gone for us to try to save it. But
oh,
it's sad. Yeah, like I said, you got a big heart for critters.
Oh no, yeah, Lisa. Yeah, I'm gonna show you this. There's a lot of stuff we can't tell. And then here's the response. Hold on. Here we go. Yeah, it turned into a 6-hour show, but that's why I like being on the night owls with them, because it's and look, the woodwalkers, they do their thing and we doing our thing, but we're still together. I mean, Amanda hadn't met them yet, but they're just real people, and when we get together, and we tell stories. I mean, and then sometimes I'll a story will pop in my head, and I'll send one to the group chat. I'm like, hey, y'all, remind me to tell everybody this, and then we don't never remember it. So, my daddy, you just don't know. I keep it toned down here. I get a little goofy sometimes, and I think I'm funny, and I think I'm being funny. So, but when I tell stories, I like to try to put people there, and I've had a lot of. I don't know whether I've had a lot of funny stuff happen to me or I found a lot of stuff funny. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody could have something happen to them, and like, oh, but some people, like, man, you ain't gonna believe what happened to me the other day. It's some terrible story. You know what I mean? It's like, you ain't gonna believe this. And then, like the time that I told about being on fire. And Hillary was laughing at me, and I think Catherine or somebody said, "Now wait a minute, you're the only person that could tell about being on fire and almost dying and have us all crying, laughing, or something, or lying." And I'm like, "Well, it's funny now." Michael X, I was talking about you earlier. I didn't say your name. Good
Yeah, I'd
guy
love
right
to get
there.
down there. That'd be cool. I ain't been out boogering in a while. That'd be fun.
Wendell won't let nothing get you.
That's good.
He's our
That's what I say.
security.
I don't go out and hunt on my own on purpose because I'll be honest, I'm a chicken poop when it comes to it. I don't want anything following me home, but you guys sound like y'all have so much fun doing that, and I would be around a lot of other people, so I think
Hmm.
I would feel a lot more comfortable with it. So yeah,
Well,
it sounds like a good time.
well, I've said this before, but the group of people that you're around. I'm not real great with big crowds. Now I've gone to football games and big events and stuff like that in my past,
Mhm.
but I'm not comfortable
Yeah.
with these people that we're around. You don't feel that. I think Harold. I think about an hour and a half. I think it took us maybe 2 hours to get there, but we went the long way. Um, I believe it was. It's not that far. And I haven't. Anita just said, all the meet and greets I've been to, I haven't been out boogering.
Mhm.
We talked, and a couple times we've had stuff happen to us right there, of course. But um, but the time that we saw the wolf and whatever that other thing was, we were headed back to the cabin. Thank God we got that
Mm.
cabin. It was cold. God, it was cold. Um,
When did y'all see the big white wolf thing? Was
that was LBL. Y'all, what month was that last year? It was early, like April. There was no leaves on the trees, and
Mhm.
yeah, y'all come on to McMinnville because that's you know, Amanda's probably about the same distance from it as I am. I would think.
Probably.
I don't know
Yeah,
if
the reason I
you
was
can make
asking
it
about
or
the white wolf thing is 'cause, that's something that I've seen as well. I saw a big white, I call it dire wolf size type white wolf up here. Oh man, that'd probably been like 20 years ago or more. So,
it's in
and it was
y'all.
during the day. It was bright daytime. It was probably 4 or 5 o'clock in the evening.
Yeah, April. Thank you, Wendell. Well, and the thing about it is, when you see a wolf, you know what you're looking at.
Mhm.
It's You're not looking at a domestic dog. These things, you can. It's just like the Bigfoot. We can say all day how big the Bigfoot was we saw, but it don't really register in people's brains. A dadgum wolf is. It's like a, it's like the difference between a. No, I'm not going to say that. Like a lifted truck because their legs are so long. I was shocked at how long the legs were.
Yeah.
Because my dogs are kind of normal shaped or whatever, and you know what coyotes look like. These things are so high off the ground because these part of their bottom of their leg and
Mhm.
all is so daggum long. They're unmistakable. We saw a lady at Stone Fort Park, I think. She gets out with a gray wolf, and she if he wanted to run, she had him on a leash. She couldn't have handled him. He was monstrous. And people are like,
That's
"Can
what
we pat him? Can we pat him?" I'm like, I was like, Heather, when you get back to the car, I ain't getting around that thing. But oh, let me tell y'all about a turtle. Turtle story. I might have told this before. Y'all want to hear a
more
turtle
turtle
story?
stories, yay.
I like turtles. I can't
I
remember.
like turtles.
I like turtles. Uh,
Pyro said that a minute ago in the
did
chat.
he? Okay.
Yeah.
So when I was about 7 or 8 years old in the 70s, uh, our store was kind of a meeting place, a little country store in Mooresville, Tennessee. There was an old man lived next door in apartments, and these hunters come up and they found a turtle that had been inscribed. I might have told y'all this. It had Whit Fox. That was his name, Whit
Oh,
Fox,
cool.
and it was inscribed on the bottom of the shell. Well, Mister Whit Fox lived in the apartments next door, and he was in his 80s, and this was in the 70s. This thing was like in the 19 teens. It had the date on it.
Oh, wow.
They went and got him, waiting on him to come down the stairs. They said, and the turtle was still alive or terrapin or whatever. And they said,
Yeah.
Do you recognize this?" And he was like, "No." He said, "I used to do that though." Well, dang, who else? Not in all those years ago was writing your name on turtles. It was like it
You're
has to be
right.
yours, right? So yeah, that thing. I don't know how old was it before he did that. So
Yeah.
those things live a while. Speaking of turtles, I saw a huge snapping turtle on the side of the road trying to snapping at car tires. I know that's we
Yeah,
saw
I've seen
some
that too.
we saw some let's see, visitors from another state one day on a country road, and there was a big soft shell turtle out there in the road, and he was scared because they were messing with him, and they were talking to him. I said, "Y'all get away from him, let it go, because if he gets a hold of you, I don't think I can unlock him from you. Because if he
Mhm.
gets hold of you, they, what's the old country thing where they won't let go until the thunder, till thunder. You ever heard that, Amanda?
Yeah, I'm trying to
If
think
a
of how
tur-
that goes.
if a turtle bites you, he was savage. He didn't pull a knife on him,
Something about the
Hillary.
thunder, yeah. Wow, you're making me dig deep in my brain. That's something I ain't heard in a hot minute.
Peyton, we're riding down the road today, and
Yeah.
I cannot tell y'all what happened today. It's so embarrassing. But we were out. We were going to go get some treats for the dogs and stuff, and he was off today. And he was telling, Bree, she's from Pennsylvania. She's been down here a year or so, and he was just repeating things my dad had said. There's some of the old country sayings, and I was laughing. I forgot about that one. I forgot about. Well, have you told her this one yet? Yeah, I told her that one. So there's a lot of these little. Uh, I wish I'd wrote them down, but and some of them pop back. If you get to talking, that was a thing in the early '70s. Used to paint our names in turtle shells. Well, we didn't know. Nobody knew.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say the same thing. Yeah, we did that as well, Hillary. And
And
yeah, I didn't know no
and,
better.
and Hillary, it's just a slow, agonizing death. I mean, it might take 20 years. So it wasn't like instant.
Mhm.
Sorry. Yeah, Scott B. Snapping turtles won't let go till the thunderstorm. 'Cause that's what they always told
Yeah,
me. Better stay away from them. I had one.
that's what my papa always said.
I was fishing Old Pond one time, and I had a pole out for catfish, had chicken liver on it, and I clicked it because I wasn't going to be close to it. I was going around fishing for bass and whatever, bluegill and crappie and all that. So I set that over there and I put a rock on it and I hit the button. So if a catfish got it, it couldn't run far. It wasn't a very
Mhm.
big pond. That way I could come back and check it and it wouldn't pull the pole in the water. So I was going around. I caught a few bass and some other stuff. I had some kind of uh, uh, bait, I was throwing, and I come back and I was looking around. I said, "Well, I don't think anything's messed with this." And I pulled the string and I started reeling it. Old zip code 33. I started reeling it, and I'm like, "Oh my God, how I don't have any line left." And what had happened? A turtle had got part of the chicken liver, and I reckon he went all over that pond
Oh my
underwater. I
goodness.
never saw him, and he ended up right back in front of me, and his head looked like it was that big, and he had the
Oh
chicken
my
liver
gosh.
hanging out of his mouth. And I'm like, I think he wants me to take it out, but I ain't gonna fall for that trick.
Mm,
So I
no.
ended up, and this is bad, Hillary. I did something. I cut the line and let him go, but I didn't have anything to do it with, so maybe he's
Mhm.
okay. They come back for revenge. Yeah. Uh or they turn into superheroes, in the sewers.
Teenage Mutant Ninja. I just
Yeah.
started singing like, wait, I don't want to get a copyright strike.
I know. Yeah, I know, right? Yep.
Oh goodness.
Well, been an
Well,
hour and a half. So y'all, thank y'all for, hanging in there with us, and we appreciate y'all.
mhm,
And we've said
definitely.
before, I kind of, after Miss Barr, bless her heart, she had physical therapy today, and she ended up with a bad headache, and she was aching. So I said, don't worry about it. I didn't tell her about the changeover. We can schedule her later.
Yeah, we can always schedule. Lord, I know about headaches. You don't.
I know, right? I didn't say anything about my hip or my hips.
I get migraines, so yeah, that's no fun.
I had migraines for years, and I finally figured out what it was. I went to the doctor, and he said there's so many things. He said you're going to have to pay attention. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
And I could tell when I woke up in the morning.
Yeah,
I'm like,
as soon as you roll over and your alarm goes off, you're like, ah, darn it.
Pyro, shut up. That ain't happening, buddy.
No.
I told Patrick, I said the main thing that I was not going to do was mess up friendships. And y'all, I mean, we can do this anytime because we keeping, and it might not be on StreamYard, but it'll be on YouTube. So yeah.
Yeah.
So what was I talking about? What was I talking about?
Oh, headaches. And as soon as you wake up, oh no, what the doctors is saying. It could be anything.
So I cured my headaches. It took a while. Thank you, Ronnie. Am I saying that right? Ronnie or Ronnie? I'm thinking Ronnie because my sister-in-law is Rhonda, and they call her Ronnie. So, so what happened? All right, y'all have heard the story that we lived in the old dormitory building. The year Elvis died, I wasn't very old, and I was scared of that place. It ended up Jennifer Appleton's family had moved out just before that. Didn't know that until a couple years ago. They had strange things happen there, UFOs and stuff. And then I was having years later. I was having the headache, and I wake up in the morning. I'm like, oh no, my day's going to be ruined. It could be in 5 minutes. It could be at 5 o'clock in the evening. I didn't know when it was coming, but it was coming.
You could feel it, yeah.
You could feel it, and a certain feeling. And when it hit, I had to get in a dark room with a fan rolling, with a cold wash rag, breathing, and even the pillow. I had to find a spot where I could put my head where it didn't hurt, which was hard to do, and just kind of meditate, zone out, right, and take something, sleep a couple hours, and it was over with. Well, I went to the doctor about it, and he said it could be your eyes. I went to a eye doctor, and he sold me some glasses I didn't need, and they made it worse. And it was about $300 back then, and never used them. My mama ended up using them like 25 years later. We kept them. But so anyway, that wasn't it. The doctor's like, we don't know. And he gave me this list of things it could be. And he said there could be something that's not on there. Well, I figured out what it was and where it came from. Back when we were young, when we were living in that 3-story house, it was the basement was 1 story. My dad and my uncle they had a old car. He had an old car, and they were working on it in the basement. They decided to go to the store and get something, probably beer, and they left the car running. Didn't know, didn't think about it. We're all upstairs, young kids, and my mom and my aunt and all, and everybody started getting headaches. And the younger kids started, they were just lethargic, and I was about to get sick, nauseated. My mama went down to get my dad, and there's this car running, and she turned it off and opened all the windows and got us outside and all that, and came back. Oh man, you talking about argument?
I can imagine.
So I figured out that if Amanda lit up a cigarette and I stayed around too long, I would get a headache. If I walked into somewhere that people smoked, after a while I'd get a headache. A campfire, which we were doing stuff like that, after a few hours or it would trigger the headache the next day, and so car fumes, all this, but I knew it was smoke. But my one uncle smoked pipes, and they absolutely did not bother me. And another uncle smoked really good cigars. They didn't bother me. I was like, oh, that smells good. Well, I asked one uncle one day, I'm like, what's the difference in your cigars and cigarettes? He said, oh man, these don't have any paper in them. They're all tobacco. The filler's tobacco, the wrapping's tobacco, the outside is tobacco. And I'm like, wait a minute, that's what Bill smokes pipes, and it's all tobacco. So I'm started to thinking, okay, paper on the cigarette. What does it have in common with all this other stuff?
Mhm.
Carbon monoxide, the wood burning, the paper burning, the car fumes, and all
Mhm.
that. So it may have went back all the way to that point where my body had taken in so much that it was warning me, I guess. But
Yeah.
it took
There's a
yeah,
term for that where your body remembers stuff like that, which is why once you get, like, sick, like, super nauseous sick or something like that, something you used to love and eat, and you got sick off of it, so you can't eat it no more because as soon as you smell that smell or something, it triggers that in your mind. I
yeah,
forget what that's called.
it's the tequila effect, I believe. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
No, so look, Hillary, I got rid of my migraines by getting knocked up. I don't recommend that though. A little extreme, but it worked. You know what? In the middle
I
of
got
one of those,
fixed. I'm fixed, so I can't do
well,
that.
in the middle of one of those attacks, Hillary, when I was about 15 or 16, I probably would have opted for that if I could have because it hurt.
Anything to take care of that,
It
yeah.
hurts. Then I saw a thing later where people have the cluster ones that last all day. And
Mhm.
I don't even want to bring that out of the universe. That has to be miserable.
It sucks.
I'm not gonna ask how you know that. But anyway, um we now the good cigar, like I said, some of the cigars have the paper wrapping and stuff like that. They would do it too. But so it was
Mhm.
just anything that was 100% tobacco. And I worked in tobacco with my uncle when I was a kid, all the way up, to a teenager. Uh, but I don't know. So I asked my mom and dad to please quit smoking in the house. And what they did, they installed a fan or had a fan. They started smoking under that, and they'd go outside. And it went from having two or three a week to one a week to one every 2 weeks, and it was slow. It was a slow process. After
Mhm.
about a year or so, maybe one every 3 months, and finally, uh, I guess it all got out of my system, and it went away. But I guarantee you, if I hung out in a bar for 3 or 4 nights in a row, I'd be sick. So
Yeah.
anyway, that you know, if any of y'all around me and you light up a cigarette, it's not gonna hurt me. Like I can stand there and talk to you. But if we're in a car or something and we're driving for 8 hours,
Mhm.
we're gonna have to. I'm gonna have to get another vehicle because it's just because when we get where we're going, I'm gonna be miserable. So, and my dad, man, he's not with us anymore. And I finally got it across to him. And I never got smart with him because boy, he would take that belt off. I couldn't talk it back on him, so I was being respectful. But when I said this like I did, he knew I was serious. We were in a truck one time. He's riding down the road, and he cracked the window, and he was blowing the smoke out the window. And I'm just sitting there like, oh god. And he said, and he was concerned. He said, "Can you smell that?" I said, "Dad, it's not what it is." I said, "Smelling is one thing." I said, "I'm breathing it. It's going in my lungs. It's going in my system, and it's hurting me." And when I put
Mhm.
it to him like that, he thought for a second, and he flicked it out the window, and see what a lot of smokers don't realize. It's like, and I don't have anything against smokers, y'all, because I smoke
Mhm.
cigars and whatever. And so my daddy, I'd have to explain it to him, and you see people do it all the time. They'll they'll be coming into a store or something, and they'll take it one last draw, and they'll put it out, and they'll come in, and they'll exhale it in the store. It's
Yeah, I've
like,
seen that. You're like,
yeah,
"Really?"
yeah, and look, y'all that smoke, that's fine. I'm not bragging on y'all. It's just I have a medical problem, and I think it went back to that. My dad almost killing us. It might have been on purpose. Who knows? Yeah. So anyway, y'all, we got Mr. Dennis Carroll Saturday night,
Mhm.
and hopefully, we'll keep y'all updated. We're not we're it- it's just going to look a little better, and we're going to be exposed to so many people right off the bat.
Mhm.
Thousands and thousands of people. So what? Alcohol poison. Yeah, I've had that before. When I mentioned the tequila. Oh Lord. Yeah, I had smoked one cigarette after another, stayed sick one day. Yeah, I mean, and I have friends that do that now. And it's you know, it, they don't think anything about it, and it's hard. But here's the thing too. I'm respectful. Like if I go to a restaurant and have a smoking section, non-smoking section, well, if I know I don't like cigarette smoking, you're over there in the corner by yourself, I'm not going to come sit right beside you. And people do that just so they can start stuff. That's yeah. I had a lady come in the store one time. I saw her recently. She's really old now. She was sitting with her friends at a restaurant. We're after church. I was like, that she looks familiar. I know the other two. And I told my wife, oh man, I got to go over here and um, say something to them. They're really old, and all their husbands had passed away, and I hadn't seen them since the store shut down in '08, and they were just part of the community that we were part of. And I said, let me go say something to them. Well, I went in and sat down with the one by herself and gave her a hug, and the other two were over there and we're talking. And she's, oh man, I hadn't seen you in a while. Y'all need to come back. You need to come by and see us and all that. And I said, yeah. And I said, I got a story to tell you about her. And oh, she looked like what? And I'm like, look, I said, you remember you came in the store one day. I've never had this happen. We were there almost 30 years. And she come in and she was stressed out. And she was probably 12 years older than me or 15. And she said, Roger, I'm trying to start smoking. Give me some Marlboro Lights. I'm like, wait, what'd you say? She said, I'm trying to start smoking. And what do you recommend? I said, I don't smoke. I said, but let's roll back up. I've had 1 million people tell me I'm trying to quit. And this is
now you're trying to tell me you're trying to start. Yeah.
You're telling me that you're trying to start smoking? She said, I know it sounds crazy. And I laughed at her. She went home, tried them. She didn't like them. And so she didn't smoke anymore. And I said, you remember that? She said, I vaguely remember that. You're the only person in my life ever said that. Oh yeah, and look, if somebody takes and I knew some people who took the cigarette tobacco and put it in pipes. That's pretty rough, I hear. But it just didn't bother me. And like I said, if we're at a meet and greet or something, you're all smoking a cigarette, don't be. I mean, it won't bother me. It's only if I've been like, hold up. All right, let me read something here. Okay, I got you. Y'all, once again, the Southern Goodbye lasts 100 minutes. Y'all, appreciate y'all. We'll keep you updated. And I don't think I have the outro done, so we'll just end it here.
That works.
Thank y'all. I hope we didn't bore y'all. And there's some things that we were going to show you or talk about we hadn't, and this was a good chance to do that. So
exactly.
All right. We'll see y'all Saturday, hopefully, or in some of the other chats.
Yep.
See ya.
Good night, everybody.
Bye-bye.